And the Spartans head coach joins us now from our studio in East Lansing. Mark, what did it mean not just to win the opener, but to have a really good team effort in doing so?
Well, I think it was a big step for us. We've got a lot of young players playing. We had about 20 players playing for the first time in Spartan Stadium, so that was a positive. 9 freshmen. But I thought that, when you look at the intangibles of our football team, the leadership, we had great enthusiasm. We had some adversity early in the game with a fumble on the 1-yard line. So we had to be able to overcome those type of things. So that's a positive when you weigh it all out at the end, how we were able to sort of overcome those type of things. So you saw all the intangibles, and that's what you're looking for. And then as far as how we played exactly, I thought we played very fundamentally sound on both sides of the ball and with special teams. So we'll look for us to take another step here this next week against a very, very good and talented Western Michigan team.
Yeah, I want to get to Western Michigan in just a moment, but first just to reflect a little more on the game against Bowling Green. Brian Lewerke, we mentioned in the highlight, he really played well. How important is that, given how unsettled you guys were at the quarterback spot last year with injuries factoring in obviously quite a bit?
Right. Yeah, he did play last year, but was injured with a broken leg after about 4 games in for him. But I thought he showed great composure. He was able to take a bad play and make it a good one so he could create out there with some scrambles. Had some big throws, left a couple short. He can play better. So that's another thing. You got to look at it as a positive because he can continue to improve. But I thought he had control. He had control of our football team and control of his emotions in the football game. And so I think it was a big step for us as a program, sort of settling on the quarterback situation a little bit. And great for his confidence.
You had 3 running backs between 9 and 15 carries. You mentioned the adversity. L.J. Scott obviously fumbling on the goal line. He had some ball security issues in this game. But put that aside, are you comfortable with that, with playing all 3 who are all quite talented, or would you like to eventually have one guy who's a little bit more of a bell cow?
Well, whoever can get us 2,000 yards, I'd be very comfortable with, whether that's 1 or 3, it really doesn't matter.
Right.
All those guys are proven commodities. Gerald Holmes, Madre London, and then LJ, they've all played big games. They've all had success in big games. They've all been able to run through tackles and all been able to split defenses and make the big runs. So any of those guys are very competent and really, and really with LJ, to me, he's proven that he can play at this level. So I'm not really worried about the fumble issues. Now, if they continue, then you start to worry about him. But I think that, he's in control of things, and all 3 of those guys are very, very good, and we'll see what we do with them. But right now, I would say they all deserve opportunities until one gets hot in the game. If that guy gets hot in any game, we're going to ride the hot guy.
Tyson Smith came up with a pick-6 in this game, Mark. It's an amazing story. I mean, he had a stroke in November, and here he is back out on the field, contributing, scoring a touchdown. Take us through his journey, if you would.
Yeah, it is an amazing journey because we really thought that he would not be able to play football again. He was sleeping about 17 hours a day after his stroke. He was moving very slowly in terms of getting back. He really took the semester off almost academically, or took all incompletes and had to make those up. But he slowly got better and then finally determined that he wanted to play, and then went through all the doctors and all the different things that we had done to try and make sure that he was safe. And, there were various doctors that had to clear him and specialists along the way across the country. But ultimately he was able to do that. And, he's gotten back with us really probably sometime in July. And actually started preparing himself and came to camp in August and has done very, very well and has had no problems whatsoever. And he's a good player. He played for us as a true freshman, and so it was great to see him have that big pick-6. And he played pretty significantly in the game on Saturday, so it was great to see him back out there and having fun and being sure and confident of himself.
Yeah, no doubt a heartwarming story, and fabulous to see Tyson Smith back out there. Let's talk about the week coming up here. You mentioned you've got Western Michigan coming out of week 1. I know every coach has a laundry list of things that they want to work on, get better on as the practice week unfolds. What are some of those items on your list this week?
Well, obviously, we want to hold on to the football when you're first and goal on the 1, in your first series. and you give it up, that's frustrating. But so hold on to football, ball security, which I think that'll come. We've not been historically a team that's turned it over a lot. And then, we had some missed opportunities out there on offense that I think, whether it's a throw or, a missed block or something of that effect. On the defensive side, played very, very well, but we can always continue to adjust accordingly. And then special teams was very solid, but I'd like to see our guys kick a field goal or two, but we really never had to do that. So there's a bunch of things we got to correct, or a bunch of things we need to haven't experienced yet, maybe is the better way to say it. But I think the most important thing is that we come with a sense of enthusiasm and love for each other, and things usually take care of itself with that excitement aspect.
Coach, last thing, does the fact that Western Michigan played as well as they did on the road against a very good USC team, does that help you get your guys focused in terms of getting them to take the opponent as seriously as you want them to this week?
Well, we played them in 15, so the score probably wasn't as indicative as how close the game was. But I thought they competed very well. Phillips brought the ball back on us twice in that game early on. That was a season opener. And then what they were able to accomplish last year, going to the Cotton Bowl and things of that nature. And then you can rubber stamp the USC game. I think they've got our players' attention, but I think we have our players' attention, to be quite honest with you. So it's really about what we do and how we prepare. But 3:30 game, I thought our crowd was great on Saturday, this past Saturday. Students were outstanding, so I'm sure it'll be a great crowd this weekend at 3:30, and excited for the opportunity.
Excited to watch it. Head coach of the Spartans, Mark Dantonio. Coach, thanks as always for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks again, and go green.